Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone 1923 Family Tree explains how John Dutton's father joins timeline. The Yellowstone prequel, 1923, delves into the lives of a new generation of Duttons, including the grandfather of John Dutton. The second season of 1923 has returned to Paramount+, tracing the separate journeys of Spencer Dutton, portrayed by Brandon Sklenar, and Alex, played by Julia Schlatfer, as they strive to reunite in Montana. The couple became aware of the troubles back at the ranch at the end of the first season, prompting a determined Spencer to return home to safeguard his family. Meanwhile, Alex faces a perilous journey, having revealed in the first episode of the second season that she is expecting. She must travel alone to reach Spencer, and despite her brave front, she will encounter numerous challenges along the way. Fans have been speculating about how Alex and Spencer's baby fits into the Dutton timeline, leading up to the events of the original Yellowstone series. Here's everything you need to know about how John Dutton's, Kevin Costner, father enters the Yellowstone narrative. The first season of 1923 was filled with horrors as the Yellowstone Ranch faced its most significant threat yet. With Jacob Harrison Ford teetering on the edge of death following a shooting, his wife Kara, Helen Mirren, had to step up and assume leadership. Keen to hide the ranch's vulnerability, she aimed to keep recent events under wraps. When she penned a letter to Spencer, pleading for him to return home and lend a hand, it arrived 3 months late. The 1923 family tree hints that Spencer and Alex are destined to become the parents of John Dutton's father. Spencer is the younger son of James, Tim McGraw, and Margaret Dutton, Faith Hill, from the 1883 series. As James Dutton from 1883 was John Dutton's great-grandfather, this positions Spencer as one of John's grandfathers. He's also the sibling of John Dutton's son, James Badge Dale, who met his end in an earlier episode. With this in mind, he's the only one left who can father a child who will eventually become John Dutton's dad. He and Alex have already established their physical relationship, and their first child should be on the way soon. John Dutton's father has made appearances in flashbacks in the original Yellowstone series. It's probable that Spencer names his son John in honor of his brother who was tragically killed. John Dutton's son did have a son of his own, Jack Dutton Darren Mann. Jack is John's only child, who is said to wed Elizabeth Strafford, Michelle Randolph. The Dutton family tree in the Yellowstone universe is a sprawling, multi-generational saga filled with resilience, tragedy, and a relentless fight to protect the land. The show 1923 sheds light on the ancestors of Yellowstone's John Dutton III, played by Kevin Costner, offering deeper insight into the origins of the Dutton Ranch and the trials that shaped the family. But one of the biggest mysteries revolves around John Dutton's father and how he connects to the family line seen in 1923. Understanding this link requires tracing back through 1883, the prequel series, and 1923, pinpointing where John Dutton Sr., as seen in 1923, fits into the family's generational arc. The roots: James and Margaret Dutton, 1883 era. The Yellowstone lineage begins with James Dutton, Tim McGraw, and Margaret Dutton, Faith Hill, from 1883. James and Margaret embarked on a treacherous journey westward with their children, determined to carve out a new future. By the end of 1883, they settled in Montana, establishing the foundation of what would become the Dutton Yellowstone Ranch. James and Margaret had 3 children: Elsa Dutton, Isabel May, their eldest daughter, whose death ultimately led to the family settling in Montana; John Dutton Sr., the central link between 1883, 1923, and Yellowstone; Spencer Dutton, a major player in 1923, but whose later fate remains a mystery; the next generation, 1923, and John Dutton Sr. By the events of 1923, John Dutton Sr., James Badge Dale, is a grown man, married to Emma Dutton, Marley Shelton, with a son of his own. He helps run the ranch alongside his uncle, Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, and aunt, Cara Dutton, Helen Mirren, who took over after James and Margaret's deaths. John Dutton Sr. is portrayed as a loyal son and nephew, dedicated to keeping the Dutton legacy alive. However, tragedy strikes when he is killed in 1923, leaving his wife Emma and their only son, Jack Dutton, Darren Mann, behind. Jack Dutton is the key to connecting 1923 to Yellowstone. At the start of 1923, he is engaged to Elizabeth Strafford, Michelle Randolph, a strong-willed woman from a neighboring ranching family. By the end of the series, they are married, and Elizabeth is expecting a child. This child is presumed to be the father of John Dutton Iwe, Kevin Costner's character in Yellowstone. Jack Dutton is the key to connecting 1923 to Yellowstone. At the start of 1923, he is engaged to Elizabeth Strafford, Michelle Randolph, a strong-willed woman from a neighboring ranching family. By the end of the series, they are married, and Elizabeth is expecting a child. This child is presumed to be the father of John Dutton Iwe, Kevin Costner's character in Yellowstone. If this theory holds, then Jack Dutton and Elizabeth Strafford's son would be John Dutton Jr., the father of Kevin Costner's John Dutton Iwe, confirming the connection to John Dutton Iwe. Though Yellowstone has never explicitly stated John Dutton Iwe's father's name, we know that Kevin Costner's character, John Dutton Iwe, refers to his father as John Dutton Jr., meaning Jack Dutton's child must be named after him. This would make Jack Dutton the grandfather of John Dutton Iwe and Elizabeth Strafford his grandmother. The missing puzzle piece is the exact confirmation of Jack and Elizabeth's child surviving and growing up on the ranch. But given that Yellowstone continues to emphasize the importance of generational legacy, it's the most plausible explanation. Why this matters to Yellowstone's legacy. Understanding how John Dutton Iwe's father fits into the timeline solidifies the importance of the Dutton lineage. It shows how every generation has suffered loss but persevered to maintain the ranch. The values of loyalty, resilience, and land preservation have been passed down through the years. The struggles seen in 1923 mirror those faced by John Dutton Iwe in Yellowstone, proving that the family has always fought against external forces to hold onto their home. Final thoughts. The Dutton family tree is deeply rooted in 1883 and 1923, with Jack Dutton and Elizabeth Strafford acting as the key ancestors who eventually lead to John Dutton Iwe. While Yellowstone has yet to explicitly spell this out, 1923 strongly suggests that Jack Dutton's son is John Dutton Jr., the missing link between 1923 and Yellowstone. With more Yellowstone prequels in development, there's a good chance we'll get further confirmation on how John Dutton Iwe's father shaped the ranch before handing it down to his son. Until then, this timeline theory provides the clearest roadmap to understanding the Dutton legacy and how it all connects through generations of hardship, sacrifice, and an undying commitment to their Montana home.